3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 573-893-7477. Mark 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for today's live show broadcast on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds. Mark. Have fun.
The following is a presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Powered by Learfield, this is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network.
Go to the pistol formation for the plus 47. There goes Jalen White again up the numbers. 25, 20. Watch the young bull go again. Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern Live is presented by Morris Bank. Bleed Blue, Bank Blue. Morris Bank member FDIC. Also brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Macon Occupational Medicine. The health of your business may depend on us. And by the Savannah Airport Commission with the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's return live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's your host, the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again back at Wild Wing Cafe for this week's edition of Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, brought to you each week by Morris Bank. We've got a packed show this Monday night just off of Fair Road. Georgia Southern football, of course, in their preparation for a Thursday night tilt down at Cajun Field against Louisiana. 7:30 will be the kickoff, nationally televised on ESPNU. Cutwater Spirits tailgate show will begin all across the Georgia Southern Sports Network at 5:30. So tonight we're going to talk a little Georgia Southern women's soccer, a little bit of volleyball. Tracy Ham, the multi-time Hall of Famer, will join us a little bit later on. A couple of congratulations we have to divvy out first. How about former Eagle men's golfer Stephen Fisk, just earlier today announced he has earned at least 12 starts on the Korn Ferry Tour. Second straight year he'll be playing on the Korn Ferry Tour. Also, how about Tormenta USL League One Championship? for the first time. Outstanding for this town. More than 20 million people had a chance to watch it on the ESPN family of networks. What an experience that was for Tormenta. Everything looking forward towards this weekend with Georgia Southern taking on Louisiana at Cajun Field for the first time since 2020. Over at Hanner Fieldhouse, they are at halftime, and the Eagle women not having any problem in their season opener with Allen. The score is 56-20. Now under year 4 head coach Anita Howard looking for that 1-0 start. Going to talk some Georgia Southern women's soccer for the next couple of minutes. You can send us a question at GS Sports Network on Twitter, or you can submit a question here on Facebook Live. It's been a great 2-year run for Georgia Southern women's soccer. Just won their first ever regular season championship. To talk about that, please welcome in head coach Chris Adams to Wild Wing Cafe. It is great to see you, and congratulations on the good run so far.
Thanks a lot, Danny.
Year 1, an appearance in the tournament championship game against South Alabama, but this year, ending the regular season with 6 consecutive shutouts. Had never done that in program history. And you get the number 1 seed for the conference tournament, a regular season championship. How amazing was that to be able to do for this program?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to the coachability of our kids. I mean, buying into a plan, team defending, to just kind of build onto that. I mean, to give up 2 goals in 10 conference games is just remarkable. That put us in the driver's seat where we didn't need a ton of goals to win games. And the attack definitely grew as the season went on, and we found more and more ways to score goals. Last year, most of the goals came from set pieces. This year, we scored a lot more goals in the run of play. So the best days are when we can score in the run of play and score on a set piece and have a margin of error, which we were able to do on several occasions.
I think when we had talked just a couple of days ago, you mentioned how much that Georgia game was a turning point for you guys. Giving up, 4 goals off of crosses. Then for the rest of the season, that was an area that you really focused on, and I guess the proof was in the pudding on that one.
Yeah, I mean, nobody likes to lose. I mean, we're all competitors, but I think you got to stretch yourself and you got to put yourself out there. And we learned, unfortunately, through exhibitions and opening night, we learned what our weaknesses were, and that kind of forces you, to go back to work and just keep that blue collar mentality of working and getting better. We did that throughout the season. I mean, we continued to grow and just went on a remarkable run, throughout the regular season. Just super proud of what we accomplished.
To go more than 530 minutes of action without allowing a goal was basically a month's worth of a calendar in between goals allowed from up until that Georgia State matchup in the quarterfinals last week in Foley. Have you had a chance to step back and think about exactly what that means?
No, I think, it's such a grind and it ends so abruptly. And then, in true fashion, we instantly have already been out recruiting and heading to Phoenix this weekend to start recruiting and building for next year. So, unfortunately, you're always looking forward. But I do think when we get a little time over the Christmas break and the dead period we have built in from December 15th to January 5th, you will get an opportunity to reflect and just, take pride in just what your team accomplished this season.
Individually, you have 3 all-conference performers, each of them representing a different phase of the game. Sade Heinrichs, Defensive Player of the Year, First-Team All-League. Ellis Nemtsov, multi-time First-Team All-League selection. And then Katie Oakley in goal. She's the second-team goalkeeper in the Sun Belt this year.
Yeah, not too shabby.
That's all right.
It's those are players that play right up the spine, and those are important players for us who did their job extremely well. And so, our team was successful because of their contributions, and so it is definitely nice for them to be honored for their consistency and what they did throughout the season.
All right, we had that conversation right before you guys left for Foley. Those couple of days that you spent before and at Georgia State, you got to share a little bit about how some fudge in Dahlonega brought you guys together going into the Georgia State matchup.
Well, it's all about finding what motivates people, and so
I'd be motivated by fudge.
We kind of cut a deal, with the players that, being from Dahlonega, I knew Tony Owens, who owns the fudge factory, and so I basically talked to him, and we took the team there, and basically what I said is we're going to have to individually wrap this because we're not going to give it to them until, after they win.
Right.
Well, that day, I have to add in there that Schade Heinrich, our German, came up with a very German thing after the fudge was packaged and put in a box and said, "Coach, we only eat fudge if we win." And so I thought that was a pretty good deal. And so that became the motivation that, we were going to take care of business and beat Georgia State on the road. We got a little help that day from Arkansas State knocking off South Alabama, which, indirectly put some added pressure on that game just with the timing of things. But, I definitely did hear a couple fudge chants when we won that, we had victory fudge on our way home, which was nice. That's the way we anticipated that story ending.
So it was literally a sweet victory.
Yes, no doubt. And a shameless plug for the Fudge Factory at the same time.
When it happens the way that it did, though, to beat Georgia State, but to do it in the final minutes, the approach to the box, Ellis goes left foot to go in that bottom right corner of the net. It's the only goal of the entire match. It was your only shot of the entire second half. If you want to build drama and do it the way that you did it, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I'd have rather done it much earlier, but it definitely added to the drama. And then luckily it meant we only had to hold on for an additional 4 minutes because that clock was crawling, and it took eternity to play that last 4 minutes out.
And we're going to have Olivia Durham join us here in just a couple of moments to talk about her experience and what this season meant to her. But for somebody that plays that midfield position, how valuable was that to get you guys where you ended up this year?
She's just endless energy. I mean, she's a box-to-box midfield player. Just exemplifies what we want from a work ethic standpoint. Never takes a play off. And that kind of consistency, and not only that consistency, but also she's one of our captains, leads by example, but also kind of, can lean on players when they need to or put their arm around players. And so just somebody that I knew prior to, and somebody that could come in and it was a pretty seamless transition to just get an experienced player that has great leadership qualities and exemplifies what we want both in the classroom with good grades, also off the field with just being a high character kid. And so, she's absolutely the model of what we want here at Georgia Southern on and off the field and in the classroom. So couldn't be prouder of what she accomplished in her two years here.
I know things still have to be fresh about the season that just took place, but if you could forecast, what do you plan on being able to bring back once 23 rolls around?
Yeah, I mean, we lost 3 seniors. Megan Prisby had a COVID year and a ACL year, so we returned Megan Prisby. We thought we were going to lose her, but she comes back for another year, and so Olivia is a big loss in the midfield there, so we'll have to replace her, but everything else is intact. And then now there'll be 4 seniors next year, so Megan Prisby will be a senior. Both of the left-footed left backs, Isabel Kopp and Cameron Nobles, and then Katie Jabavi. So 4 players that will lose. It was kind of Megan and Lou and the freshmen and sophomores. So pretty young team, which speaks volumes to going forward and us being able to sustain the type of competitiveness that we've had these last 2 seasons.
It was a lot of fun getting a chance to watch you guys from afar and get a chance to cover you. Had a couple of conversations on the Inside Eagle Nation podcast. We'll have a new episode coming out tomorrow morning. We'll talk about what you guys did down in Foley and the records you set this year, a little bit more detail about your all-conference performers. Can't congratulate you guys enough for what you've done so far, and we're looking forward to even better things coming up in the future.
Thanks so much. Hail Southern, go Eagles.
That's women's soccer head coach Chris Adams. When we come back, it's senior midfielder Olivia Durham. We'll find out why she goes by Lou. That's after this on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
You need the best players. You need to keep them safe. And if they do get injured, you need the best occupational medicine services available to make sure that they're back in the game for you and your business. This is Leonard Bevel from Macon Occupational Medicine, and that's exactly what we've been doing for business and industries throughout Georgia since 1990. We outperform others by getting injured workers back to work quicker while maintaining the highest levels of customer satisfaction. The health of your business may depend on us. We're Macon Occupational Medicine.
Here's to the fans who show up for the game, finding their spot, staking their claim, towing the trailers, hauling the gear. A tradition of tailgating that happens each year. And here's to the truck they drive, the Ford F-150 truck. Power your tailgate like never before with an available ProPower onboard generator. For great offers, see your local Ford dealer today. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for more information.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Optum Medical Center Tatnall, we know you're not yourself when even just one part of you is hurt. Optum Medical Center Tatnall in Reedsville provides Eagle Nation with the highest quality care in surgical, hospital, clinical, diagnostic, and therapeutic services. The physician-owned medical center has been named one of America's top 100 best hospitals for joint replacement and is a 5-star recipient for total hip replacement, total knee replacement, and spinal fusion surgery. For more information, visit OptumHealthSystem.com.
New vision, new identity, same battle cry.
Man, what a great day to be an Eagle. Mercy!
It's time to GATA.
Gerald Green outside the hash. 10, 5, bye-bye. Jalen White, welcome the young bull all the way home. Thompson, what a tackle at the 10-yard line. How much fun is he to watch?
Listen to Eagles football all season on the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Georgia Power is proud to be a partner with Eagle Athletics. Eric Russell said that our offense is called the Georgia Power Company, and now Georgia Power would like to help you save on your power bill. Visit georgiapower.com to learn more about becoming more energy efficient and saving with their handy energy efficiency tips. Hail Southern Live continues from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro on the Georgia Southern Sports Network powered by Learfield. A little bit later on, we'll talk with volleyball head coach Chad Willis, preview their final homestand in the upcoming conference tournament down in Foley, Alabama. Also have Tracy Ham up for our final two segments. Talk a little bit Eagle football. We'll also talk some Apex program. Get back to Georgia Southern women's basketball and their matchup against Allen over at Hanner Fieldhouse in just a couple of moments. Do appreciate the time of Chris Adams tonight with Georgia Southern women's soccer off their first regular season championship. Fewest victories in school history. Now we get a chance to talk with one of his players, the pride of Marietta, Georgia. Give it up for midfielder Olivia Durham. Okay, let's get this out of the way. You're Olivia Marie, but your nickname is Lou.
Yes.
How does that happen?
So I get this question all the time whenever I introduce myself, and Lou was something that started when I think I was 5 years old, and there was so many Olivias always, and we tried the Liv, we tried the Livy, Lou, and Lou just always stuck. My mom gave it to me, and I've just been Lou ever since I was 5, from the soccer field to classroom now to I just introduce myself as Lou now. So it's stuck.
What is people's first reaction when they hear that your nickname is Lou?
They first say, where did that come from? And that's not your real name. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. So it always comes with this story, but definitely started from when I was on the soccer field.
So a Georgia native, but you spend your first 3 years at Southern Miss before they, of course, came into the Sun Belt for this season. Ultimately, though, getting your way back this way, and that has to do with the relationship you had with Coach Adams going back 5 or 6 years.
Yes. So Coach Chris and I, we met each other when I was 16 doing ID camps, getting recruited, and in that process, he was still at North Georgia, and in my head, when I was getting recruited, all I wanted to do is go to a big school with football and go D1, so that took me to Southern Mississippi, where I spent 3 years there, and I had a good time, but I was ready for a change, and once I got into the portal, Chris kind of reached out, and when I committed on the call, I knew I wasn't going to turn him down twice, and he told me I wouldn't burn a bridge 3 times, so here I am, and it was kind of full circle that we've known each other for a while now, and it was a great opportunity to get to work with him.
To not only play 2 years here, start all 39 games over the last 2 seasons, but to be a part of a championship game, which you did your first year at Southern Miss, but then this year to win a regular season championship. How cool has these last 2 years been?
It's been amazing. It's definitely, I'm so thankful for the transfer portal and coming to Georgia Southern. There's a lot of differences you see in different programs and going from 2 different places, and something that people have always said when I came to Georgia Southern was, you're going to love it. The people here are different, and you don't really understand that until you're here and you're in it, and it's like, wow, you have such a great community behind you, and to be able to spend my last 2 years playing soccer here has been amazing to have that support.
We just talked with Coach about how Fudge got involved with the practice up in North Georgia, then going to Georgia State to finish up the regular season and get that #1 seed. What are your recollections of those couple of days?
Oh, I mean, I think we all knew. Kind of, JMU was the first time, I think, when we beat them on our home field, we're like, we can do this. Like, we have the opportunity. We put ourselves in a great position to be the regular season champs, and then we all knew what was at stake at that Georgia State game, and I think it was a lot of pressure, but we all knew that we were not going to let it slip through our hands, and the fudge was definitely a motivating thing, and I think that was when we finally got on the bus, we started those fudge chants because we were just so happy, and we got the job done, and so it was an amazing experience and one of the best moments I'll always remember.
What was your perspective on Ellis's goal?
Oh my gosh, I mean, down to the last 5 minutes, it was just so crazy, and I think we were all thinking, oh my gosh, are we going to be able to do it? Are we going to pull it out? And we knew someone was going to, and of course it was Ellis. She's been that girl for us this whole season, which I couldn't be more prouder of her and just everything that she's done. And I mean, I was on the front post, and I turned and I watched the ball flick up, and she put it in, and it was just a run to the sidelines, but it was also like, okay, 4 minutes, we have to waste time out. Let's just get it done. But, I mean, the emotions were so high when that final whistle blew. Sade was crying. I think everyone was crying. It was just an amazing moment for all of us.
You brought up the James Madison match, a 1-0 victory at Eagle Field. You had the lone assist in that game, but that was part of 6 consecutive shutouts over a full calendar month, almost 600 minutes, according to Sports Information Director Chad Jackson. Is that something that you really started to recognize and almost something you had to keep shooting for?
I think for sure. I think we realized, like, oh, wow. I mean, defense has always been there for our team, and so it was just kind of their consistency was so good, but it was like, wow, this is amazing. It just kept going and going, and James Madison was a strong team that we knew that we had to compete with, and so shutting them out, it was like, all right, we can shut out anyone. So it was a really amazing feeling, and like to know that we were breaking these records just playing our game.
Coach just talked about your exploits as a student, you a routine 4.0, marketing major. Since you just finished up your collegiate eligibility, what are the plans after Statesboro?
So currently I'm working towards my master's in sports management. However, I just finished up an internship over the summer with Textron EasyGo golf carts down in Augusta. And so I have taken on a full-time sales position with them that I will be starting next summer.
If you're going to go work in golf, Augusta's a pretty good place to go to.
I mean, I can't get away from sports just yet, so I'll stay in the same field for a little bit for now.
You've spent the last 2 years here. When you finish up, what will you remember most about Statesboro, Georgia Southern, Eagle Nation, and everything that it's meant to you?
I think that I'm just so thankful that I was able to transfer here, and just the girls, the team, the atmosphere. I mean, it's just been amazing, and just seeing people on your side, and I'm so happy women's soccer is getting some credit for what we've done and just kind of making a name for themselves, especially because I know in the past they haven't been this team, but it's definitely turning itself around, and it's becoming a strong program, and I hope that it just continues in that way.
To participate for a league championship, to get the #1 seed the very next year, that's quite the experience. Thank you for being here tonight. Congratulations on all your successes, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you. Hail Southern.
Senior midfielder Olivia Durham. She is a tree. We'll talk some volleyball with Chad Willis. We'll do it after this timeout from Wild Wing Cafe. This is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Is slow internet slowing you down? Having trouble connecting to all your technology needs? Bullock Solutions has the solution for you. With a 100% fiber optic high-speed network, Bullock Solutions provides modern services with the latest technologies available in the industry. Need security options for your new home? Bullock Solutions has got you covered with state-of-the-art video surveillance and smart technology to give you the peace of mind you deserve. Bullock Solutions has internet and technology packages to meet every need. Visit us at bullock.solutions today.
Nothing kicks off your game better than a handful of Georgia peanuts. Power packed with protein, essential nutrients, and great taste. Georgia peanuts are the MVP for affordability, sustainability, and nutrition. To score life's touchdowns with recipes and fun facts, check out GAPeanuts.com. The perfectly powerful peanut is brought to you by the family farmers of the Georgia Peanut Commission.
Peanuts, get your peanuts.
You understand that it's not just grand gestures that can change someone's life. It's consistency, doing the same thing every day for a long, long time. At Georgia Southern, we believe it's you, our annual giving donors, doing more than just impacting the bottom line. You're impacting students filled with big dreams and the desire to change the world. Our mission is to make them ready to make those dreams real, and your gift makes it possible. Because of you, they are ready. Visit georgiasouthern.edu/give to make a difference.
For many years, you've heard that Knox knocks them out. Well, that's because it's true. The Knox family has been serving yours for over 85 years. Just like the Eagles on the field, the Knox experts respond with speed. In addition to their soonest possible same or next day service, your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed with pest, termite, mosquito, wildlife, and bed bug control. To learn more about how Knox knocks them out, head over to knoxpest.com or call 877-KNOX-PEST.
You need the best players. You need to keep them safe. And if they do get injured, you need the best occupational medicine services available to make sure that they're back in the game for you and your business. This is Leonard Bevel from Macon Occupational Medicine, and that's exactly what we've been doing for business and industries throughout Georgia since 1990. We outperform others by getting injured workers back to work quicker while maintaining the highest levels of customer satisfaction. The health of your business may depend on us. We're Macon Occupational Medicine.
Talent inspired. Hi, this is Terry Harvin, and I firmly believe that those are two words that should describe your company's starting lineup of employees. If they don't, then you need to reach out to my friends at Select Source Staffing. Talent inspired since 1997, Select Source is owned by a proud Georgia Southern grad. They're solution-minded and truly understand that no two companies and no two employees are the same. So whether you're looking to hire someone or you're searching for a new opportunity for yourself, explore Select Source and check out their postings at selectsource.com.
Powered by Learfield, this is the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank.
Legs up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern!
Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's return live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Morris Bank is the presenting sponsor of the 2022 Georgia Southern football season. Bleed Blue, Bank Blue, Morris Bank, member FDIC. Quick check at Hanner Fieldhouse. Georgia Southern women's basketball well on their way to a 1-0 start. 2:34 left in the third quarter. 69-32 is the lead over Allen. You can tune into gseagles.com and hear David Holvey and Terry Harvin with the broadcast call as Anita Howard's bunch tries to finish off Allen to begin the season. Now talking Georgia Southern volleyball. If you have any questions or comments, submit those on the Facebook Live feed or send us a tweet at GS Sports Network for volleyball. Only 2 regular season matchups left, both at home this weekend. Friday at 6 against Troy, Saturday at 1 the same, and then it's on to Foley for the conference tournament. Welcome in volleyball head coach Chad Willis to Hail Southern Live here at Wild Wing Cafe. What's going on, C-Dub?
How's it going?
How are we?
Great.
Okay, to have to go back to a place where you formerly worked, Appalachian State, last weekend, Is that one where you enjoy going back because you have good memories, or is it one that's tough because now you're leading your own program?
Well, it would have been a lot more enjoyable had we pulled off 2 wins.
Valid.
But,
Okay.
No, I think it's a good opportunity to go back and have a chance to visit with some folks, who we established good relationships with in our 6 years there. So it was great to see those folks. But yeah, it's a more of a reminder of how grateful and how blessed we are to be here at Georgia Southern and doing what we're doing. So yeah, it was a trip down memory lane for sure.
Last year was the best season since 2013. This year has been much of the same. 14 victories, 2 matches left in the regular season, taking on Troy this weekend. You get a chance to honor your seniors. This season you've had winning streaks of 5, 5, and 4 to build your record. We know how much it's meant to get Emily Jerome in as a transfer. Ashlyn Lovett has been more of the same after being freshman of the year last year. But what's made this team stand out through 24 matches?
I think, when we look at it, I think it's the resiliency of this group. Bringing in two grad transfers and another transfer in the setter position, to add 5 seniors that we're going to have an opportunity to celebrate this weekend. I keep saying this, and I've said it all year long. It's a really fun group to be around every single day. The way they come in, the way they work, the way they handle their business, but more importantly, just the relationships off the court and who they are as people and the ambassadors they are for Georgia Southern and what they mean to our program and the university. I'm grateful to coach them every single day.
How much more do you think having an older team helps those ideas?
Well, I think you look at the experience factor, right? You talk about somebody like you referenced, Emily Jerome, who's won 3 Colonial Athletic Association championships, been in the NCAA tournament 3 times, almost gearing towards 2,000 career kills. The kid knows how to win, knows how to play. So to not only have that experience on the court, but also have that voice in the locker room. We talk about leadership development. We talk about, what we need to be doing, off the court on a day-to-day basis to pursue excellence and get to a level where we're winning championships. And Emily certainly adds that leadership value to our group. So,
what is it like to negotiate the transfer portal in volleyball?
I'm going to say it's probably not much different than it is for any other sport. It's the reality that we live in now in college athletics. And there are a lot of coaches out there I think, would tell you the transfer portal is so bad. Like there's so many bad things about it. But, I think all of our coaches, and I think it starts from the top. Jared talks to us frequently about, the transfer portal giveth and it also taketh. So it's an opportunity if you use it the right way to really boost your program. And for us, we look at it more as, giving kids an opportunity who maybe aren't having a great experience somewhere else or we feel like can come in and maybe plug some gaps, plug some holes for us. And we've been very fortunate with quite a few transfers on our roster and who have come in and played some impactful sets, impactful matches for us, and more so have benefited our culture off the court more than anything.
When you try to build a rotation for an individual weekend, is there a sense of competition that still goes on everywhere where every job is up for grabs, or do you get so deep in the season where you go with who brought you?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, and I think that's the balance, and I think that's true of a lot of sports is you're trying to, you're trying to be conscious of, run the horses that have gotten you there and give them a little bit longer leash, but at the same time.
Clay Helton would like that one, by the way.
Yeah, every single day, we're competing in practice, and our players understand, our student athletes understand that you have a responsibility. Part of the commitment to your program and commitment to this team is you have an obligation to come every single day and be the best version of yourself. So if you get settled into a role that maybe you don't like or you have that you don't feel like anything's going to change, you start to go down that rabbit hole of, how am I going to get better? So our focus every single day is come in, have a great mindset, control the controllables, be the hardest worker, have the best attitude, be the best teammate you can be every single day. And if you do that and you go about your process the right way, then opportunities are going to present themselves. And I always say, in our sport, we're a sprained ankle, we're a bad knee, we're a bad arm away from somebody needing to come off the bench and play some impactful minutes for us.
But having the TerraFlex floor is supposed to limit a lot of that.
Yeah, the shock absorption, and the thing's beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, you should come check it out this weekend.
The length of your season is very similar to a basketball season. Multiple times a week, you've got to balance a lot of practice time with a lot of games. You play close to 30 matches during a season. When you're together all the time and you get to a certain point where there are more yesterdays than tomorrows, how do you keep things loose and light?
Yeah, I think, one, you've got to have a great sense of humor.
Which you do.
we try and keep the mood loose when we need to, but we also know, when it's time to flip the switch and get after it, we know how to do that too. And so, one thing that we've been very big on since we got here is, we have a weekly team meeting, whether we're in season or out of season. And in those meetings, we don't talk a lot about X's and O's. We don't talk a lot about, we don't break down film. We don't talk about upcoming opponents or what happened in the weekend prior. We focus a lot on relationship building. We focus a lot on leadership development. We focus a lot on, trying to create unity among our staff and team that I feel like it goes a long way in keeping the mood light, so that, it isn't always, practice, training, film, rehab, this, that all everything that has to do with competing and everything that goes into competing. I think it's really important for these young student athletes to make sure that there's a care factor involved, so that they know at the end of the day, we care more about them as people. We care more about how we're launching them and equipping them for life after sports, so that it allows them the freedom to go out every single day and sort of feel refreshed, feel rejuvenated, to come in, compete, do their best, be their best, pursue excellence every single day.
How did you develop the way you go about building relationships?
I just think I've always been a people person, if I want to be honest with you.
That helps. That's a big one.
I think I've been fortunate to be around a lot of successful, high-level teams that have gone on to compete for championships and play in postseason tournaments. And I think the number one thing that stands out to me on any of those teams that I've been a part of is, there's a genuineness, there's an openness, there's a vulnerability that happens when you put a lot of stock, when you place a premium on cultivating relationships, and not just positive relationships. Like, that word positive gets thrown around a lot. Like, to me, genuine, transparent relationships are, hey, listen, Danny, this is going to be a hard conversation, but we're going to have it because I love you. I love what you mean to me. I love what you mean to this team. I love what you mean to this program. So when we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of it, it's coming from a place of love, and I want you to be better because I want us to be better. And so, we, like I said, we place a premium on that. And sometimes that means hard conversations. Sometimes that means great conversations. Sometimes that means great times, road trips, and when we're coming off wins. Sometimes that means we're going to hit some adversity like we have in the last 4 matches. But all of it they're teachable moments, and again, it's about developing and equipping and preparing them, for what's to come in life after sports. So we try and view it through the lens of, how is this going to help us? How is this going to prepare us? Let's not soak in it. Let's not sit in it. Let's use it to get better. Let's focus on coming back tomorrow, put one foot in front of the other, and just get a little bit better.
All right, preview the Troy Trojans coming up this weekend.
Yeah, Troy's a solid team. They're doing really well in the West Division right now. They're led by a fifth-year senior setter, Namar Anderson, who's one of the best top setters in the league right now. They're very heavy on the pin. They got a couple nice arms. But we've had some film on him, and E's sitting over there. He's spent all day yesterday and today taking a hard look at him, and I think it's a matchup that bodes well for us. If you look back in the history of the last 3 years, we've had some battles with Troy. Yeah. Set a couple records against Troy from the blocking standpoint. So. It's a team that our team enjoys playing and knows we're going to get a quality effort from. So it's a team we also know we're going to have to battle hard against if we want to pull out a couple dubs this weekend.
Senior weekend at Hanover Fieldhouse, Friday at 6 o'clock, Saturday at 1, wrapping up the regular season. Then Georgia Southern heads back to Foley for the conference tournament, looking to win at least a tournament match for the 3rd consecutive year and move about towards the tournament championship game. Always enjoy our talks. Thanks for being here tonight. Congratulations on the successes, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Danny. Hail Southern.
That's volleyball head coach Chad Willis. When we come back from this timeout, the Hall of Famer Tracy Ham joins us. We'll talk some football, we'll talk some Apex, and plenty more as Hail Southern Live continues after this, powered by Learfield.
Here's to the fans who show up for the game, finding their spot, staking their claim, towing the trailers, hauling the gear. A tradition of tailgating that happens each year. And here's to the truck they drive, the Ford F-150 truck. Power your tailgate like never before with an available ProPower onboard generator. For great offers, see your local Ford dealer today. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for more information.
Optum Medical Center Tatnall, we know you're not yourself when even just one part of you is hurt. Optum Medical Center Tatnall in Reedsville provides Eagle Nation with the highest quality care in surgical, hospital, clinical, diagnostic, and therapeutic services. The physician-owned medical center has been named one of America's top 100 best hospitals for joint replacement and is a 5-star recipient for total hip replacement, total knee replacement, and spinal fusion surgery. For more information, visit OptumHealthSystem.com.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance. All without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
At Tidewater Equipment Company in Brooklyn, we understand how important every hour is when you're farming. We have an exceptional parts and service department, an extensive used equipment inventory, and we are exclusive distributors of Case IH tractors, planters, sprayers, combines, and more. We're here for everything you need when it comes to agriculture. Visit Tidewater in Brooklyn or online at TidewaterEquip.com, your premier Case IH tractor dealer. To those who work in acres, not ours, we thank you.
You need the best players. You need to keep them safe. And if they do get injured, you need the best occupational medicine services available to make sure that they're back in the game for you and your business. This is Leonard Bevel from Macon Occupational Medicine, and that's exactly what we've been doing for business and industries throughout Georgia since 1990. We outperform others by getting injured workers back to work quicker while maintaining the highest levels of customer satisfaction. The health of your business may depend on us. We're Macon Occupational Medicine.
Your one-stop for all college sports is the Varsity app and the brand new Varsity Network website, thevarsitynetwork.com. Keep up with your favorite teams and the rest of college sports, no matter where you are, with thevarsitynetwork.com. Live and on-demand broadcasts, your favorite college-centric podcasts, with stories and video around college sports and your favorite teams. Be sure to download the Varsity app and check out the brand new Varsity Network website, thevarsitynetwork.com.
Eagle Nation, are you ready?
Stop, reverse layup goes, and the foul. He cuts over the baseline. He dunked it right on top of Talbot.
Oh, come on, Kamari.
Don't hurt him.
Eagles basketball returns Tuesday, November 8th at San Jose State.
It's a run out for Orgy. Here he comes. Two-handed dunk. Oh, what a moment. This place explodes.
Hail Southern all season long on the Georgia Southern Sports Network.
Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Snap to Van Tracy, hands to Jalen White, starts left. The Alabama native breaks an ankle tackle, 50-yard line, Jags territory, shows the speed, up the sideline, 30, never out of bounds, to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. He skirts the sideline, and he has 6. Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. 54-yard touchdown run by Jalen White. Somehow he tightrope that sideline. It's 13-0 with 9:20 left in the first quarter. Great stuff so far tonight on this week's edition of Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. Head coach Chris Adams of Georgia Southern Women's Soccer, senior midfielder Olivia Durham. We just finished up with volleyball head coach Chad Willis. Going to talk a little bit of Apex program and some Georgia Southern football during our final 2 segments. Of course, the Eagles have a short week on Thursday night. They'll be down at Cajun Field to take on the University of Louisiana. That's a 7:30 Eastern kick. You can watch nationally on ESPNU. Of course, you want to turn them down and turn us up on the Georgia Southern Sports Network with the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show starting at 5:30. But there's always something to talk about with our next guest. And Eagle Nation, please welcome the Hall of Famer Tracy Ham to Wild Wing Cafe.
I have a question for you.
Okay, what do you got?
Where did you get that Wings Up Eagle Nation?
You've never heard this story?
No, I have not.
Okay, first road
it's
trip.
It's worth listening to?
Well, it's not a great, it's a good story.
Okay.
It's decent. Okay. My first road trip was to Idaho in 2015. When we were on the field at the Kibbe Dome, I saw one of the cheerleader signs that said "Wings Up," and I wasn't thinking about having a touchdown line, but I just saw it. I really liked it, and then the Eagle Nation just kind of came about organically. I hung on to it for about a year, and then Savannah State in 2016, Fabian Upshaw scored the first touchdown, and that's when everybody heard it.
Well, you got to have a touchdown call. I mean, every great one got a good touchdown call.
Well, you scored a lot, so you got a chance to hear it.
Good touchdown call. You got to have a good touchdown call. Okay, that was just my
Appreciate you asking,
break.
though.
Yeah.
How many Hall of Fames are you in, by the way?
4.
Okay.
Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
The state of Georgia.
Okay, that's the one I missed.
And the other 2 are what?
I got the College Football Hall of Fame and the Canadian Football League Hall
That's
of Fame.
why I like you do your homework.
What?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, that's what I mean. You always give me something to talk about.
Okay.
In your current role, not only as part of the senior administration, but also with the Apex program, the work that you and Glenn have done, and it's a perfect time to have you on because you just finished up the career tour in Savannah last weekend.
Yeah, Apex has been pretty interesting because Jared has essentially just given us the mission to make sure that we teach our student athletes not only the in-house stuff, but how to network outside the house. Glenn gets them when they're freshmen and sophomores and just teach them a lot about the baseline stuff, financial literacy, how to manage a bank account. And then you teach them some banquet etiquettes and things like that. And so really try to get them a baseline. Then once they become juniors and seniors, then we try to teach them how to what they look like outside their uniform. Sure. And they have to start looking at themselves outside their uniform, and then how to access resources. This institution, Georgia Southern, has just a lot of resources, and our job, one of our jobs at Apex, is to teach our student athletes how to access those resources, and that means they have to get outside of their venues. They have to get outside of Paulson, outside of Hanner, outside of JI, and they have to go out into where the companies are. They have to meet Georgia Southern alumni. They have to meet just networking opportunities, teach them how to have the 30-second elevator speech if they run into a corporate exec. So it's just really teaching them about accessing resources and what they look like when they take their uniform off.
You're going to do Feed the Borough again this spring at Statesboro High School. That's something that's been done the last couple of years. But coming up later on this month when Georgia Southern hosts Marshall at Alan E. Paulson Stadium for Ag Day, you've got the food drive in partnership with the Statesboro Food Bank as well. You can take those items to Gate 8 at Paulson Stadium. But what else can you tell us about how you're preparing for that event in a couple weeks?
Well, the student athletes, our site committee has been great, reaching out in the community. That's part of the Apex program, is being part of the community, giving community service hours. The food drive has always been a big initiative for us as a department, and the SAC leadership runs that program. So what we try to do as a part of the big picture with Apex is put the student athletes in charge of certain initiatives, and they are from top to bottom, they have it. And so we just really are just borders for them. So if they have any questions that we answer them, but our student athletes have shown great leadership skills, and that's part of the development process is, how do we develop leaders once they finish with their sport, giving them opportunities in leadership positions, putting them in charge of things like the SAC food drive, and where they can give back.
You were on the Inside Eagle Nation podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I brought up the idea of you helping kids now the way that some people helped you when you were a student athlete. But what do you think a program like Apex would have done for you back in the mid-'80s? You had an amazing career and you had an outstanding life anyway, but what do you think that career would have done to help augment those experiences that much more?
Well, it just would have given me an opportunity to connect more to the community, understand what was happening in the community, what my value was outside of my uniform. And generally you figure that out as you go through. But we give the student athletes a chance to understand what their value is outside of their uniform and understand what's their next step in life is. And no matter what sport you play or how long you play it, at some point you have to take off your uniform. And so what do you look like once you take that uniform off? And so what I try to be as an example to our student athletes that when you take your uniform off, there's still things that you're more than capable of doing. You're more than just a student athlete. And so giving them opportunities to see themselves without the helmet on or without the baseball cap on is make sure they know what they look like and the value of themselves.
During your time here, winning 2 national championships and then having a Hall of Fame career up in Canada, did you ever think that you'd be back in Statesboro not necessarily in the role that you're currently in, but did you think that you would end up back here at some point?
Yeah, well, because this was where I lived at in the off season. So once I spent 6 seasons in Edmonton, when I was traded to Toronto, this became my off season home. I just wanted a quiet community where the people, you have a relationship with the community, give myself a chance to integrate into the community what was going on around Statesboro. I'd always, from a small town, so it kind of suited who I was and kind of the lifestyle that I live. And it's, I just enjoy the people of Statesboro. We've had a long-standing relationship. So, and I could see me raising my kids here. I could see me being here. And so this is what I decided to do, was to come back to the community of Statesboro.
We'll talk a little bit more with Tracy Ham during our final segment of this week's edition of Hale Southern Live, and we'll do that from Wild Wing Cafe after this break on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Hey Eagle Nation, it's Stacy Underwood from Uncle Shook's Barbecue Place at 434 South Main Street right here in Statesboro. We're proud to be a partner of Georgia Southern football in this new era and want to wish Coach Helton luck in his first year. Remember, game day isn't complete without some Uncle Shook's favorites like our slow-cooked barbecue pork, juicy and tender beef brisket, and fall-off-the-bone smoked ribs. Add some of our made-from-scratch sides and you'll be a winner at the tailgate. Place an order online at UncleShooks.com. Go Eagles!
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
You choose the combination, and they'll cook it in their 500-degree brick oven in just a few minutes. Your own delicious pizza experience using only the freshest ingredients on hand-tossed dough and individually sized just for you. And that Eagle Nation is why they're called Your Pie, because it's all about you. The Your Pie in Statesboro and downtown Savannah is owned and operated by Joe Hunt, a Georgia Southern grad. So when you order your next pizza, be true blue and make it all about you. Go see Joe at Your Pie, and I guarantee it, you'll be glad you did.
University Store is built for game day. As the official store of Georgia Southern University, we have the largest selection of officially licensed hats, polos, tees, tanks, tumblers, signs, bobbleheads, and more. Every Eagle, young and old, can find their favorite Georgia Southern merchandise at our Armstrong and Statesboro campus stores. As part of the university, we support student success by investing our profits back into scholarships, facility improvements, and programs on each campus. Visit our stores today or shop 24/7 at gsustore.com.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance. All without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Powered by Learfield, this is the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank.
Legs up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern!
Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's return live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Just a few minutes left on this week's edition of Hale Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe, where the wings are hot, the drinks are cold, and the atmosphere is always fun just off of Fair Road. At Hanner Fieldhouse, Georgia Southern women are in the final media timeout in the fourth quarter. 4:55 left. They might get triple digits, leading Allen 95-39. Eagles have 6 in double figures, led by Taryn Ward's 15 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists. 11 points each for Rister and Miller. And it looks like Anita Howard is indeed going to start 1-0, and they won't be home for the next 3 weeks. They'll have a chance to get tested on the road in non-conference play and probably score a lot of points. We knew they were number 5 in the country in scoring offense last year. Reminder that Georgia Southern's men make their season debut tomorrow night out in California. Eagles against San Jose State for the first time ever. That's a 10 o'clock Eastern tip. At a little bit later than usual, but it's 3 time zones away. 9:30 will be the airtime with the Cutwater Spirits countdown to tip-off. Kevin Dana will have the call from out in San Jose. And then Thursday, internet-only broadcast starting at 10 p.m. Georgia Southern against Santa Clara. Tim Swartz will have the call in Santa Clara. Home opener for Georgia Southern men this Saturday, 7 o'clock against Trinity Baptist. Will be on the air at 6:30. Full network with the Cutwater Spirits countdown to tip-off. Of course, get your season tickets. $50 for the women. They start at $50. For the men, they start at $100. Remember, the women coming off their best home season in 30 years. The men have playing their most home games in 30 years. Got 16 opportunities to see the men this season. You can call 1-800-GSU-WINS for more info or visit gseagles.com/tickets.
You be wide open this time of year, don't you?
A little bit. A little bit. For anybody that knows you, they know that while the football numbers are there, of course, you did everything that you did, but you're a huge basketball fan.
I enjoy it. Yes, I do enjoy basketball. I enjoy basketball simply for one reason.
What's that?
Well, I get to sit down when I go in there and watch practice. In football, you have to stand up all the time, and I get tired of standing at football practice.
You just don't want anybody to see you, that's all. We do remind Eagle Nation that Savannah Hilton Head International Airport is a presenting sponsor of Hail Southern Live and the Savannah Airport Commission. You can check them out online at flysav.com before your next trip. We know the Eagles will be leaving Wednesday for a Thursday night matchup at Cajun Field against the Ragin' Cajuns. 6th all-time meeting between Georgia Southern and UL. 7:30 is the kickoff. Be on at 5:30 with a Cutwater Spirits tailgate show. The question I don't know that I've asked you yet, but I'm curious. For all that you did in your 5 years running a specific kind of offense for the Eagles, what is it like for you, a quarterback, to watch Georgia Southern throwing the ball as much as they are now?
Well, it doesn't bother me, really. I just think that, the offensive system has changed. The rules are set up to move the ball through the air.
Sure.
Certainly the rule changes with when you throw the ball now, the pass interference or catching the ball are the positive and, whether you catch it or if you drop it, then it's the negative. But so you can put the ball up in there. I have no issues with how we play the game today. It's a new you'll see that, though, people who are really, really good end up running the ball, good running football teams. I think at some point with weather, there's different things that affect football that you'll have to come back to the run. But I think we do a good job running and passing the ball. I think we have a nice balance there. Sometimes the running back, is hot and the defense dictate that you run the ball more. And then sometimes the defense just dictate that you throw the ball. And so really they're just reacting off what the defense is giving them, and which is what we would do offensively when we were playing. I know people say we ran the ball all the time, but, there were games where we did run the ball more so than not because that's what they was giving us. And really our offensive guys have done a good job of balancing, taking what the defense is giving them, and then we have a really good pass. Our receivers have been playing spectacular football, so why wouldn't you get the hands in these athletes' hands and let them get on one-on-one matchups?
When you actually get a chance to sit down and watch a game, what is it like as a quarterback to watch a football game instead of play a football game?
Well, for me, it's interesting because I always look and see, what kind of time the quarterback has. Is he hitting his back foot, getting rid of the ball? Is the O-line giving him? So I watch it from the O-line perspective, like how much time are they giving the quarterback, and then look at what's in his face when the ball is coming out his hand. So I kind of enjoy when I watch it on film, and I do go back and look at the games myself so I can see if I thought I saw what I actually looked at during the game. Sometimes it eludes me, but for the most part, I just look at how our kids are reacting to certain defenses and how our defense is reacting to certain offense. So I just enjoy just looking at the X's and O's and how we're attacking people and how we're being attacked.
How much more challenging do you think it is to play the game now?
Well, it's a challenging game in itself, so I don't think it's more or less now as against when we played. To me, it always comes down to the rule changes, right? The rules have really benefited the offensive side of the ball, which is not a bad thing. It's just what the rule changes did to the game, where you can't really contact is, they're trying to control the contact of the game, which is difficult when you're playing that fast with those bigger guys. But I don't think it's much different. The game itself is difficult. It's a collision sport. When you run two trains into each other on the same track, something's going to break. And so we just try to keep our kids healthy as possible and make sure they're getting the best treatment they can get.
How did you get yourself ready for a road game?
Well, road games are easier than home games simply because you're contained. You know, everywhere you go, you're on the bus, and you as a group, you spend more time together as a group because you're traveling around with 60-plus people on the bus, and so everywhere you go is kind of dictated by the itinerary. So you spend more time as a team together, you eat together, you do everything together on the road, and so really, essentially, you spend more time together and you get more football time in on the road, whereas at home I'm more freely to my schedule, to myself, and on the road I'm controlled a little more. So being on the road is a good thing at times, especially when you need to come back together, and this is a big weekend for us, and so it will be a good time for us to get back together and get a win.
All right, favorite road trip of all time. Doesn't matter if it's college or pro. What was your favorite place to go?
We'll stay in college.
Okay.
My favorite place to go?
Yeah.
Not play, but go.
Yeah.
In college, you just go and play and come back. In pro, you actually go and you go out to eat and you do things other than that. So, favorite place, Vancouver, for the CFL, have been Vancouver, Canada.
Tracy, thanks a lot for the time tonight. Appreciate what you do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's the Hall of Famer Tracy Ham. For Chris Adams, for Olivia Durham, for Chad Willis, for Jonathan Breland back in the studios, this is Danny Reed. Eagle football on the road this Thursday, taking on Louisiana. 7:30 kickoff. We're on at 5:30 for the Cutwater Spirits Tailgate Show right here on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Been listening to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. Hail Southern Live is presented by Morris Bank. Bleed Blue, Bank Blue. Morris Bank member FDIC. Also brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Macon Occupational Medicine. The health of your business may depend on us. And by the Savannah Airport Commission with the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport.
Legs up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia!